Hi, everybody. My name's John Myer, and we're here at the BioIT World and Conference. Who am I speaking with?
Daniel Weaver, Boulder Biocomputing.
So, Daniel, let me ask you a couple of questions specifically around PTP. The first question is, if you could describe PTP in one word, what would it be and why?
Excellent support of infrastructure for all companies that are getting those launched and trying to figure out how they're going to manage all the data for all their operations internally.
So, Daryl, what is your relationship with PTP?
We're at the early stages of working together with PTP. We've had a few interesting phone calls and engagements between us and them on particular customers who are at that stage where they're trying to get their feet underneath themselves for their informatics, workflow and infrastructure. And we bring a lot of scientific expertise, and PTP brings a lot of fantastic, IT knowledge and expertise about how to bring the systems in place and for us how to bring the science together with those.
Would you say you guys kind of complement each other?
Very much so. That's part of why we're enjoying working with PTP is that we bring our own sense of expertise to the table, and they really together solve problems that otherwise companies, particularly in the small and mid-tier pharma, might struggle to solve on their own.
So, Dan, you're here at the BioIT World and Conference. What are you looking to learn? What are you looking about it?
Well, I'm really curious to see what people are actually doing with machine learning and actually doing with things like generative AI. There have been a few really excellent talks about both the promise, of course, and the hype, but also the realities that people are running into. And one of the key messages for me here is just how important it is to have well-curated, well-managed data that you can bring into a scientific endeavor and use those well-managed data to train models and so forth. That's, I think, one of the themes you're going to see emerging over the course of this next year in terms of how these technologies are brought to bear to actually bring new and better medicines, from the bench side and into the clinic. And that's a huge part of what PTP is about, is helping with those informatics, infrastructure needs, and then from us to help about how you actually think about structuring those data scientifically.
So, Dan, my last question for you is, what are some of the challenges that PTP is helping you guys solve for your customers or customers in general?
Well, I think part of what they bring is a tremendous amount of knowledge and a really strong relationship with AWS. And so they, again, we're at the early stages, but they seem to have really tremendous amount of experience in what those cloud deployments might look like, about some of the ways cloud can be employed to solve complicated or compute expensive problems. And frankly, that's not an area of expertise of ours. So it's been really good for us to be able to partner with someone like that who has a lot of that knowledge about those kind of nuances about how you would deploy something like AWS to address those customer needs.
Dan, sounds like a great partnership.
Yep, we completely agree.
All right, Dan, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much. Have a great rest of your show.